Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Behind Enemy Lines, the football podcast where three non-New England fans who live in New England share their suffering, their delight, their trials, their tribulations, everything in between in the world of football. For those who don't know me, my name's DT. I'm the resident Arizona Cardinals fan of the group, and I'm joined, as always, by our resident Jets fan, Yazzie, and our resident Buccaneers fan. I couldn't think of the word for Buccaneers for a second. Coxie, how are you boys doing this week?
All right. I'm doing all right.
Living Groundhog Day like we have been for the last, 8 months now?
Same shit, same day, feels like, different day. Yeah. Who knows anymore? But, you know, we got football as our solace, some of us. Sorry, Jay. But there's been a good bit of escapism, and I think we're living one day at a time. The major things that I want to talk about, that I want to cover first and foremost as the host and as the Cardinals fan here, is first, on Sunday, was that the greatest catch of all time? DeAndre Hopkins at the end of that game against the Bills?
No, it was a great catch. It wasn't the greatest.
It was amazing! I was so excited. Catch. I lost my voice for like a day.
Yeah,
sure did.
I was on the phone with Jay, actually.
Sure were.
I reacted well, I guess I will say. But
I mean, to be fair, I also fucking lost my mind. I was like, did that really just happen?
Yeah.
Over 3 Pro Bowl level defenders. Got up there, 50-50 ball, got it. I loved his little interview. It was just a better play by eye. And he's actually come out with a shirt now of the play. It's just the outline of the play.
Oh,
and
the
you can
hands.
buy that shirt now. I might get it. It's amazing.
Right.
So, of course, due to that, we're repping D-Hop this week. You have to. So amazing, so outstanding. I also won like $40 on a prop bet for him finally scoring a touchdown in that game. So that helped a lot. That was a huge win for us against a very talented Bills team. So I was very excited about that. And then that leads into this Thursday and what happened just transpired yesterday. Tough loss. I'm a little annoyed by it, but I actually didn't expect to sweep Seattle this season, so I'm not as devastated about it as I should be. I think J.R. Sweezy should be run out of town for holding in the end zone. I'm fucking still furious about that. Just don't commit a foul once. Follow the rules. One play. I can't. That bothers me so much. Holding penalties, especially in a situation like that. Like, if you don't hold him, he's Kyler Murray. There's a chance he gets away. But if he doesn't get away, you have the same result. But holding and making that specific situation happens guarantees that safety happens. Then we give up possession and the game falls apart from there. And that is my biggest bugaboo with this Arizona team, is how sloppy we are. We're the most penalized team in the league, and it shows. We lack discipline in all the major areas, and that's while we're doing great. And I think our pure talent really, in a lot of ways, has gotten us to this point. It's hard to see, a Super Bowl in our future this year, just with the lack of discipline. But I've been on my soapbox for the first 3-4 minutes of this thing. What are you guys' take on the catch on the Thursday night game as a whole? What did you see that you liked from either team? What's going on? Let's start with Ryan, because I know he likes to talk a lot.
Well, thanks. It was a tough. The catch was great. It was a great catch. Not the greatest of all time, but it was a great catch.
The greatest of all time.
I don't.
It was a good catch, not the best.
Yeah, I found that play a little odd from the Bills' point of view. There's no timeouts left for Arizona, and they were so worried about little like 15-yard cross routes over the middle. I didn't understand that. They should have had a lot more people deep. It's not like, again, Arizona had no timeouts. However, against Seattle, it was a tough loss. But I mean, Seattle went in there with a game plan, and they pretty much announced it that they were going to get back to their ball, and that's what they did. I mean, it was a pretty 50-50 split passing. It was 182 yards rushing 65. It was pretty 50-50 split, and that's a winning formula. So I mean, you don't turn the ball over, time of possession 35 minutes.
Yeah,
That's a winning formula. So
it was really good.
they
It was
just
better game defensively from both ends than I expected.
yeah.
And that was a big surprise. Carlos Hyde going off was good. I have him on my bench in one of my fantasy leagues. I picked him up and didn't play him. Now I'm really regretting that. But
Well, the other Carlos really came in big too. Carlos Dunlap, that acquisition for the Seahawks,
yeah, sure
is
did.
really helping their pass rush, and that's good. Like I mean, you can have a great quarterback all day back there; it's not really going to matter. So that's been big for them, is having a better pass rush. I think he's got 3.5 sacks in 3 games.
Yeah,
Or
he's a really good
since he's
piece
been
for
there.
them.
So yeah.
Not bad.
100%. But yeah, a little bit of a surprise in the game. I'm glad we hung in there with them. The Seahawks are a lot more vulnerable now than they were. They looked unbeatable for a good chunk of time there. They're definitely back down to earth, and I think especially in that division, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm glad we got the win on them early in the year, because that again lowered the stakes for this one. And it just means that I think the formula is, if we sweep the Rams, we're in. If we split, it's probably close, maybe a wild card. And if we get swept by the Rams, we're probably not going to make the playoffs. But I think that's kind of our roadmap going forward. But Jay, what were your thoughts? I kind of keep interspersing my own takes in here, but
No, that's fine, man. You've had an interesting couple of weeks for your team here. So first off, that fucking game against the Bills. Oh my god, that's a classic.
yeah,
That's one of those games they're gonna be playing on the NFL Network in the offseason when everyone's bored out of their minds. You know what I mean?
hell of a game.
It was a hell of a game. I thought that the Seahawks game was kind of it was a tale of penalties, really. I mean, there were not only the penalties that were called on the Seahawks or the Cardinals, but there were so many penalties that they just let the Seahawks get away with that it blew my mind. And like I have a kind of a biased opinion because I want the Cardinals to win just because I don't really have a dog in the fight, so I'd rather see the Cardinals win.
Yeah.
But there were so many pass interference penalties, blatant, like roughing the passers, blatant. What do you call it? Like that one hit that I can't remember who the DB was on the Seahawks. He just blew up your receiver, like head first.
Oh yeah.
No one called anything. It wasn't even a discussion. I'm not trying to give you guys an excuse or anything, but I think that really was what won the game. I think they did. I think the Seahawks did come in with a good game plan, as Cox said, run the ball. That kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought they were just going to fucking air it out. But no, I think you're right. I think you guys are winning on talent right now. I think you guys have to clean it up a bit if you want, Super Bowl aspirations, or you know.
That's where, to me, that's where Cliff comes in. Those are your troops. Yeah. Tighten it up, line it up. I know you're the hot shot college guy. A lot of fanfare, a lot of buzz. Obviously, you guys both know it dates back pre-podcast, but I wasn't a fan of Cliff at first. I've come around a lot on him. I like his offensive schemes. I think he's got a good brain for it. Still not fully sure if he's NFL head coach material. If, this discipline and these penalties are any indicator of that, then we'll see how he lasts. At worst, I think he's going to be a hell of a coordinator going forward. But it remains to be seen if he can tighten it up. He's also, again, he's young. He's a young head coach. He's got time to figure it out. So I'm not out on him by any means, even though I was out originally when we got him. I'm not out. I'm sticking with it. But that's I think his major area of opportunity and growing point, and if he can tighten that up, this is a hell of a squad for years to come, and I'm really excited to see that. But yeah, the Seahawks had a good game plan. They ran it more than I thought, like I said, but I'm glad that we kept DK Metcalf in check, because that could have been a lot uglier. I'm really there, so that was really good. Again, didn't expect that from Hyde. Really, I kind of had a thought that he was going to do it, but the way actually seeing it was a lot to deal with. So if we can tighten that up, we have a pretty middle of the road defense. I think we're like top 15 basically in all categories. So we probably won't lose you games, or we won't win you games. So it comes down to, again, that talent aspect, that discipline of not committing the key penalties at the key times, even though this time I think it was our offense who fucked up. J.R. Sweezy. Never getting a Sweezy jersey. Fuck that guy. I don't mean that. I love him still, but you can't do that. That's a big oopsie. That's a big oopsie.
That was a backbreaker. That was like the definition of a backbreaker.
Yeah. Awful. Any other thoughts on the Thursday night game / any of that before we move on? Final editions. No. Lovely, boys. So I put this next thing on the run sheet because I forgot that it was a thing. For those who don't remember, the Houston Texans all year have been operating with an interim head coach. I forgot that. And so I put this on the run sheet because I found it very, very interesting. Those consistent listeners will know that last week I labeled Houston the unluckiest team of this NFL season. They've had a brutal schedule. Obviously, the change in coaching, there's some growing pains there. This team, it's starting to really kind of gel and formulate. They're looking a lot better. They're still not winning, a ton of games, but I like the direction they're going in. But I dropped this on the run sheet, A, because I forgot that they were running on an interim basis, and B, because some new news came out about their hiring process and what they're going to do this offseason, and the GM's quoted as saying they're going to interview everybody that they can get their hands on from both sides, offensive mind, defensive minds, all that, which I find interesting personally, given the situation that they're in and the job really that Romeo Crennel's been doing with that team. So I will go to Jay first with this one because I went to Ryan. What are your thoughts, your takes on this whole Houston head coaching situation? How do you think it shakes out?
I think this might be a preferred destination for most head coaching candidates, in my opinion. You got Deshaun Watson's. He's shown that he could potentially be a top 5, top 3 quarterback, maybe. I mean, he has all the talent in the world. I also saw reports that they're seriously considering making Romeo Crennel the official head coach, like by the end of the season. I don't know how true they're probably just rumors, but I think they should weigh their options a bit. I'll give you kind of a random one that I think that they should consider is Brian Daboll from the Bills offensive coordinator.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. He's completely transformed that offense. He's made Josh Allen an MVP candidate. And you can see, if you watch any Bills game, you can see that offense is like it's a well-oiled machine. Like
significantly better than in years past, and it weirdly happened season over season with Allen, but his completion percentage went up 10 full percentage points, which is unfucking heard of in the NFL. And not to take away from Allen in any way, but because he's having a good year. But I mean, the offensive coordinator is like that. You just watch that offense, you say, "Oh, that was smart." Like just the root concepts and everything. It just meshes together, and he knows exactly the personnel that he has and how to use them. That being said, I think Bieniemy is probably their top guy just because he is the hot coach. He is the top dog for any team this offseason looking for a new head coach. And I think that's like I said, I think that's a very desirable destination just because they have Deshaun Watson there. You think Bieniemy goes there if he's offered it? You think that's where he lands?
Hot take, I think he goes to Atlanta.
Oh. Oh, that'd be gross.
No, I can't see that.
No, Nick.
Matt Ryan's not the right style quarterback. I mean, who's more comparable to Patrick Mahomes? Is it Matt Ryan or is it Deshaun Watson? It's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
you're going to be able to do a lot more with it. What wins in today's NFL is quarterbacks. Quarterbacks win. Deshaun Watson's going to win you more games over the course of more years than Matt Ryan is. Matt Ryan doesn't have much longer compared to Deshaun Watson. Go to Deshaun Watson. You can build something great around Deshaun Watson. Like you can. And they have pieces. The pieces there already. So like, not to say that Atlanta doesn't, but they just don't have the right quarterback. I don't know. That's just my feeling on it. Like, if I were Houston, I would hire. Yeah, I wouldn't even. To be honest, I wouldn't even bother looking into that many other people. I would hire Eric Bieniemy. essentially what the Texans offense already has is the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, they just need some better pieces at certain skill positions, but they're set up to be that. So, and we'll just take the Chiefs offensive coordinator
Mm.
to build another one here.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's why I said I think the best fit is Houston. My hot take, and by hot take I mean it probably won't happen, but I could see it happening as he goes to Atlanta.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what you think, Cox, but you're already doing that, so just keep going.
I'd say he'd more go to the Jets than the Falcons.
If they get Trevor, yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, even without him.
For argument's sake, you have any other ideas of who might be the next head coach of Houston? You got any other names?
Not really. No, it's Bieniemy. It's Bieniemy's like the main guy. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt again. My bad. I know Greg Roman's like the hot name on the streets right now, but he's kind of failed at some point in every position, every offensive coordinator position he's had. Like he was hot in the streets in San Francisco, and that fizzled out. Wasn't he the offensive coordinator for the Bills for a bit there with Tyrod?
Might have been. I don't remember.
Might have been. Yeah.
I think he was, and then he was the Baltimore's really good offense last year, and now they're kind of faltering.
Mm-hmm.
So that one worries me because I feel like that would be a Jets move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of me, deep down in my soul, because for some reason I have a huge soft spot for him. I want Romeo Crennel to keep that job. I don't know why I have a huge soft spot for him. I always liked him. I don't know if they will. I like the idea that they're gonna give him a shot. Like he's gonna be in the pool of applicants, and I think the fact that he's done some pretty decent things. Obviously, the wins haven't been on the board, but like I said, I think that's more of a function of the absolute brutality that has been their schedule than anything else. They got off on a bad note with a couple of rough games to start against really good teams. So I think that was a huge factor in it. It's a very momentum-driven league. Like Bieniemy is obviously a good shout. I didn't think of that OC from Buffalo, but I like that.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
A lot. Those guys are probably up there. I'm trying to think of other guys. Like the thing is he had a rough time there in Atlanta, but like Dan Quinn's a good coach. He should probably have a job somewhere. Like it'd be interesting to see him in Houston. I don't know if he fits. He's got a good offensive thing going.
Was it DC? Isn't his calling card as a defensive coach?
I never know what kind of coach anybody is.
Yes, he's a defensive coach. Yes. Yeah. On a complete aside though, somewhere I could see Dan Quinn ending up.
Where?
If Detroit gets rid of Matt Patricia, I could see Dan Quinn ending up in Detroit.
Yeah, it's a good call.
I could see that happening.
Yeah. Do we think Patricia's on the hot seat at all?
Yeah.
Depends on how they do in these coming up. I mean, if you look, they could win if they. They're sitting there 6-5. So that's not to say that they're out of it. And plus, if they're 6-5, that's an improvement over where they've been. So it's trending right direction. So, I mean, at that point, you probably give Patricia maybe one more year.
Mm-hmm.
I see. You want to give him time. I just think I think sometimes the coaching turnover is a little too much.
100%, I agree.
Give someone a few years to try and build something.
Yeah.
So
fair. Yeah, Quinn would be good there. I think he's good enough to get a shot somewhere else. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to bring his name up. Is it Houston? Probably not. But could be. I don't know. That's the fun of doing this. We can theorize, but I want Crennel to get a fair shake. I could see they'll probably bring in all the guys we mentioned at the very least. Obviously, like they do, they'll bring in some college coach hotness. I don't know who. I don't keep up with the NCAA enough to know who that is.
New hotness.
Yeah, Dabo Swinney.
Old and busted.
Bring Dabo Swinney in.
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind Lincoln Riley being the next head coach of the New York Jets.
That'd be cool.
That'd be rad.
Pretty cool.
Interesting.
We're getting a little off topic here. I just found it interesting that Houston has been working on an interim basis and wanted to get some theory crafting and get a little bit of spicy head coach news in there because we don't talk about that a ton. I mean, we have the last couple weeks, but generally speaking. No, God, don't do that. And next up on the docket's an interesting little double header that we have here, and I want to start now with an interesting development with Drew Brees having his entire chest caved in, to put it mildly, which leaves their QB situation at Taysom Hill and famous Jameis Winston. Reports have indicated that Taysom Hill is going to make the start, but I've also heard things saying Sean Payton has not declared a starter and that he's not going to probably until game time. It sounds like the rumors are that Taysom Hill's getting the reps with the ones at practice, but Sean Payton's going to be Sean Payton. You never really know what to expect from that guy. So one of the things I wanted to pass to you guys is, who do you think starts? Who do you think plays more? And what do you think their results are going to be? Ryan, I'll go to you for this one since it's near and dear to you.
Yeah, is it? I mean, I missed the 30 touchdowns. I don't miss the 30. And I think that's going to be why Taysom Hill is going to play more. Taysom Hill is going to start, and he's going to play more. And the turnovers. Winston's, if you give him enough attempts, he's going to turn the ball. He's going to throw a pick. It's just that's what he does.
He got LASIK though. His eyes are better. He can see the shirts.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure he can. He's if they let him throw more, he's not going to be eating any W.
I was going to say he's got to eat more W.
No, he's got no taste for W. Taysom Hill, we don't really know how good of a thrower he's going to be, but I think you can do more with him.
Sure can. They've proven that already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you can do way more with him, and I think that's what's now. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some packages where both of them are out there.
Oh, for sure.
You don't know who's going to throw the ball. Have fun with that. That's the kind of crap they're going. So, I think it's going to be a 60-40 split, Hill to Winston, and I think Winston will probably end up throwing a pick, and that'll probably sideline him for some time. But I think they can still win this game. I think they can. It's still New Orleans.
I'm getting vibes of that one year where Miami ran the Wildcat 40% of their snaps and were killing people.
Oh yeah.
It could be something like that.
It's something because they can do something completely different. No one has any film on this.
Yeah.
No one has any film on what they're gonna do.
And Peyton's a good enough coach to really get jazzy with it, and I think it'll be fun. A weird aside, but really fast. I wish they used in Baltimore their Heisman formation more. I wish they did that more because it rules. They need to do that more. We need more gadgety stuff like that. I mean, offense is being innovated and changed all the time in the NFL. You get these game breakers at the QB position like Mahomes, like Lamar, like Kyler, all these people, that new era coming in. I think it lends itself a lot more to stuff like this. So we might see it come back in a weird way, and this might be one of the big advents of that if they can find success with it. But Jay, what's your take on it?
Oh, I agree with Cox. I think Taysom starts the majority, if not all of this. I don't think Jameis gets in this game unless Hill throws 3 interceptions or something like that, which is possible. I mean, it's not likely, but it could happen. You never know. But yeah, the dynamics of the offense with Hill in there, with Kamara, and Murray's no slack either. He's a pretty good running back. You could run it. I mean, hypothetically, you could run a triple option. I
was just gonna say that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 5 to 8 snaps of triple option with this team, which would be
fun.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome to watch. That being said, Taysom Hill has thrown 18 passes in his entire NFL career. We have zero idea what this
How
kid
many
is.
has he completed of those? Do you know?
Let me. I have the stats.
Probably probably a fair amount. My guess would be 13.
He is 10 of 18 for 205 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Passing.
Okay.
I lean more towards Cox's analysis than Jay's here. I do think Jameis sees the field.
Okay.
I think it's mostly gonna be when Taysom's also out there in some way, whether it's as an RB, tight end, split out. He'll be on the field, and they might even run some loopy motions where, like, if he crosses the face, it's a direct snap to Taysom. Like some of that bait kind of stuff. I could see a lot of really weird things happening.
I guess what I meant was that he won't see any meaningful snaps, I guess is what I meant by that. Like, it's going to be trick, gadgety shit. It's not going to be Jameis is the guy and, Hill's out. You know what I mean?
I think Jameis has at least 10 attempts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That would literally nothing would surprise me from this game. That's why I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch it too. It's going to be one of those ones I'm going to keep a close eye on. There's a lot of good games this week, though. That's why even though it's technically my Sunday off, I picked a very specific game for a very specific reason that we'll get to when we get to the predictions portion of things. But Ryan, I'm going to have you take the lead on this one because you had a thing that you wanted to carve out time for here pertaining to the Patriots, but I don't fully know what, because you haven't revealed this. So we're hearing this as soon as you do, listening.
So I just want to bring it back to when we had a conversation about them being done and like it's over. And I brought up the mere suggestion that next year they could be, having a conversation again with playoffs. Just see what they just did to the Ravens? Just see what they beat the Ravens. Yeah, they beat the
Wait till we get to my game. I have a take on the Ravens.
So I understand the Ravens are a little one-dimensional.
Underwhelming.
But still, they can compete. They can compete. They little bit of a rebuild going into next year, but there's a good foundation there. They can compete. So do not sit there and go, oh, well, there's no talent, or, oh, well, it's over. Like, there's no way they get to the
Cox,
playoffs.
I understand what you're saying. Yes, they beat the Ravens. They also needed a last-second field goal to beat the Jets.
Okay, but all I'm saying is that
they may not be who we say they are, but they're absolutely not who you say they are.
I disagree with that.
They are an okay team at best.
Okay, but next year they can very well playoff.
I don't think so.
Very easily.
They need too much help.
Bills are rising.
No, they don't. Their game against the Ravens just stated it.
But you got to think about the division, though. The Bills are rising. The Dolphins are rising. The Jets might get the best quarterback prospect since Manning. I mean, it's going to be a fucking murderer's row in that division next year. And I just don't. I know it's Bills, fucking a magician, but quarterbacks don't just grow on trees, man. You can't just find one out of nowhere.
And they're not going to get D.D. Westbrook and flip the franchise like you fucking said too.
But those. I mean, he's a free agent. So.
Ooh.
Wow.
They'll pick up Dan Arnold from the fucking Arizona Cardinals and then Super Bowl or bust.
Hey.
You guys want Rashad Perriman? You can fucking have him.
Fuck you. I love Dan Arnold. I hope we keep him. He's my boy.
Yeah. So you said that, but I was like, you don't actually want that to happen.
I'm legitimately concerned because he's a white guy who plays wide receiver.
Yeah. So the Patriots are going to scoop him up.
Nobody's safe. I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I don't think, like I said, that they're where you say. I don't think they might necessarily be where we thought they were.
I think they are okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead this in. Do we have anything else to say about just the Patriots before I get into the
we can go
predictions for the week?
Because we can go.
I have a very good segue into kind of what we were talking about that has to do with my game. But first, we'll go to predictions for the week. But the first thing I want to state is that we have a new predictions leader, baby. It me. I'm up one game now. After some razzle dazzle this week, I think I can't remember
Always,
who the specific games were.
always the humble winner in DT.
Always, constantly. I'm the humblest winner.
It's still ain't over, bro.
No, it's not. Ryan also came back a little bit. So the current records are Ryan Cox with a record of 49-30.
I'm here.
Jay with a record of 53-26. So Ryan's theoretically, if a week goes real rough for somebody, he could leapfrog into the lead. And myself with a 1-game lead at 54-25. So new leader, which is really nice, but everybody's still in it. And I also want to take a quick side note and say that we're all generally predicting pretty well. Like, we're getting more of these right than not.
Yeah.
Which is, it's
That's
pretty,
fair.
I'm like right now, me and Jay's rate is like a little over 2 for 1. So for every 3, we get 2 right and 1 wrong. It's a little over that. So we're doing all right in that aspect. But as we go into this week's predictions and takes for these games, obviously the Arizona Cardinals played on Thursday, so I got a dealer's choice of games to look at and dive into. And the game I chose is the Ravens versus the Titans. And this kind of harkens back to what Cox was just talking about. But my take on this is that the Ravens are not good. They're a false team. They're a deceiving team based off of, I think they have a lot of the hangover from last year with like Lamar Jackson's a game breaker, XYZ, and they're still all very good, but they have not even close to replicated those results all year. They've won some interesting games, but in terms of legitimate competition, they don't have very many signature wins that I love.
Yeah.
On their record. And I think that loss to the Patriots kind of proved that the Patriots are kind of the opposite of that. They'll play to their opponents as evidenced by the last second field goal win against the Jets and then the game they just had here. Again, the conditions I don't think did the Ravens any favors, but you can't blame a game on weather. It's not a valid argument anyway. You find a way to win if you're a good team. But I don't think the Ravens are for real at all. I've been kind of iffy on them all year, and this loss to the Patriots solidified that they're kind of a sheep in wolves' clothing. And I don't expect them to. They might even like legitimately fall apart down this stretch. I think there's a good chance of it, and they're playing a good Titans team. They're playing a really, really good Titans team. The biggest signature of the Ravens this year has been that pass rush, but Ryan Tannehill's the second least sacked quarterback in the league. That line's holding up really well for him. My heart breaks that Taylor Lewan's been out, and he's not going to come back this season. But because I love that guy, he's one of my favorite tackles in the league. But they've so far in a small sample size, they've done all right in his absence. I think Derrick Henry eats. I think we get a surprising amount of production from the pass catchers of the Titans in this game. And I think this is a Titans win, and I think it may get a little close depending on things, but I'm thinking like a 2-score win at least for the Titans in this one. Because I don't, especially after last week, I've been kind of leaning that way for a couple weeks now, but especially after that L to the Patriots. I think it's less that the Patriots are for real, like Ryan's saying. I think it's so much more that the Ravens are absolutely not for real. And that's where I landed on it. But Jay, what's your thoughts? What are your takes on this one?
Oh, I totally agree with that, like 1,000%. I mean, I haven't been high on the Ravens all year. Their best win, and I had to look it up, but their best win is against the Colts. Who, I mean, they're a good team. They're not a bad team. They're not. I mean, last year they had Super Bowl aspirations, and this year their best wins against the Colts.
Not exactly a signature win.
I just don't think, and I said this all offseason. Everyone called me crazy. I was like, I think Lamar Jackson's going to regress this year. And everyone's like, no, he just won the MVP. I'm like,
I was with you, kind of. I think they eventually get enough tape on a guy, you figure it out.
And he hasn't been terrible. He just has not been the franchise guy, I think defenses are figuring it out. And he even said that last week before the Patriots game that defenses are calling their plays before they actually run the play. So I think defenses, and like I think I said this on last week's podcast, that this happened with the 49ers when they had Kaepernick.
Mhm.
and they had that crazy year, and then everyone figured it out. It happened with the Dolphins back in was it 06 or 07? I think it was 07 when they ran the Wildcat, like you said, 40% of
Yeah.
the time.
Mhm.
Next year, everyone figured it out, and then they just crushed them.
Mhm.
I just think it's kind of gimmicky. I know Lamar Jackson's a good quarterback. He can kind of throw. I mean, he's not terrible. He's not a game breaker. He can run his ass off, but I think defenses are finally figuring him out. And I'm not. If I'm a legitimate Super Bowl contender, I don't fear the Ravens at all.
Ryan, I mean, I agree. I'll rebut with that, but that's because you basically said all the same things I did.
Yeah. So I agree that the Ravens aren't this, dynastic team that's going to be around for the next, 10 years going to challenging for Super Bowls every year. That's just not who they're going to be. Um, do I think they're like in that second tier of NFL teams? Yeah, I think they're at the top of that second tier. So I don't know if they're like a sheep in wolves clothing, but they're like something in the middle of that, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just think that they're one of those like pesky 9-7, 10-6 teams every year. Kind of like exactly what the Baltimore Ravens have kind of always been. Like a 10-6, 9-7 team that makes it into the wild card that you don't want to see in the playoffs because of their defense. I think that's still kind of what they are. Like their defense is still really, really good. It's only giving up 18 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good defense. So I think this is a must-win game for the Ravens. Like you have to win this game almost because I mean both teams are sitting here at 6-3. The Ravens are 7th. They're in that last playoff spot. So if they lose this game, then they're out of the bubble. So it was a must-win for them at home. Like they gotta play smarter. Like Lamar sometimes tries to do too much, and he's getting sacked. So
He trusts too much.
Just play with your head. Be smart. RPOs, run the clock
Throw
down.
It to my son more.
And then if you keep Derrick Henry off the field, he won't go for 200 yards on you. So
Big
I think they can. I think they can slow the game down and really just play with their head. I think they can do that, and I think they can win this game.
So you got the Ravens?
Yeah, I do. I have the Ravens 23-20. Still close game.
Yeah. I didn't actually make my pick. Now that I think about it.
I was gonna come back to you on that because I noticed that as well.
No, I got the Titans here 23-20.
I got it a 2-score game. Make it oh god. Do I trust no, I don't.
Do you trust?
I was gonna say, do I trust the Titans D enough to make this like a 21-7?
No.
You?
And I don't quite do that. So let's make it 31-21.
Okay.
Tennessee, which is a weird score, and it's a little higher than I wanted to, but I wanted to stick to my 2-score thing. So so the score had to get a little weird to make that happen.
The Ravens are going to get their points, though. That's the thing. So you got to kind of...
Yeah. Also, as a man of my word, Gus Edwards did not get 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to do my shot take. But as I start ripping those off, I'm going to toss it to Ryan to talk about Bucks versus Rams. I almost called them St. Louis. What the fuck?
So bum. It's Monday Night Football. So I kind of I got 3 big keys for the Bucks here. So and stop me if you disagree with any of them, and then we'll go into more detail on each point. So number 1, protect Tom. Okay, number 2, defense needs to play lights out again. And 3, establish that run game early, very early. So anyone disagree with those keys? Anybody? No?
That's pretty good, just general football
advice. If you do that in general, you're probably in the game.
That's fair. But so last week the Bucks O-line, Ali Marpet's been out. Not just last week, but he's been out. So
Number 2, real fast. Sorry, just wanted everybody to know.
What are you cheersing to there, D?
I don't fucking know.
To Hopkins.
To D Hop and the greatest catch of all time.
The Durham House of Pizza.
Yeah, to Durham House of Pizza. Sponsor us. Sponsor us, UNH kids. Listen to this podcast.
I'd love free pizza. So Ali Marpet's been out. So last week they tried something different where they shifted Jensen from center to guard, to left guard, and then they put Shipley at center. And that worked.
That good center.
That worked pretty well. So they're gonna have to work harder this week. They're gonna have to stop Aaron Donald. You have to. So I know that's what's gonna be rough. Because if Brady's pressured, then he's nowhere near as it's bad. Bad if he's pressured. He's really bad under pressure.
He's Nick Mullins when he's pressured.
Yeah, he's bad. So that is key. The defense against the Saints was bad. 420 yards they gave up against the Saints.
420.
And then in the first half against Carolina, Teddy Bridgewater had an 82% completion. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Now in the second half they did turn it around, and I don't know if Todd Bowles and everyone was just like, all right, that's it, we're done. Like had enough, but they need to keep that up going into this. So that's huge. And then I'm really interested to see the dynamic Ronald Jones and Leonard, because 2 weeks ago Ronald Jones put the ball on the ground against the Saints. You never saw him again. Didn't see him at all. All Leonard Fournette. Last week he fumbled it early, and they still just kept feeding him. And dude went off, especially with that 98-yard run. So Bucks got to get back to those 2 tight end sets, run the ball, establish that early. Then you can do play action pass later in the game. Keep it close with that defense. Got to keep it close. The other thing, those first drives of the game, they've been a lot of 3 and outs. Can't have that anymore. Like I can't remember if against Carolina it was a 3 and out first drive of the game, but we've just been doing that a lot, especially in this prime. Can't do that. You got to start at least winning the field position battle. At the very least, you got to win field position early. So, I mean, if the Bucs can do that, which I think they can, then they should be able to keep the Rams' offense in check. And it's going to be a low-scoring game because the Rams still have a really good defense. But I think the Bucs can pull this one out 23.
Say 23-19.
23-19.
Monsters Inc. Gotcha.
That's right.
Love that, Jay. What are your thoughts?
I also agree that's going to be a low scoring game. I think it's going to be lower. I think people expect this to be a high scoring game, but I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Monday Night Football is always weird too. It's kind of like Thursday Night Football. It's always kind of strange. Like things that you think are going to happen don't happen for whatever reason. As far as Brady and clean pocket, traditionally, and I watched it for 20 freaking years, if you get pressure up the middle, he is fucked. You can get pressure. You can get pressure on the edge all you want. He'll be fine. He'll step up.
Yeah, he'll step in. Yeah.
If he doesn't have that step up, he is screwed. So yeah, that is the key to the game. Can you stop? Can you stop Aaron Donald or not? I think is the key to the game there.
Yeah. If the Rams can rush for and drop everyone else and still get to Brady, then that's it. Then the Rams have it. That's it.
Even if Donald doesn't get it, like if he just not even that, like if he just pushes the pile into in where it's like right in his face in the middle, like in the edge, he doesn't give a fuck. He just steps up and tosses it. But if he gets something in his face, traditionally, and I mean, who knows? I mean, Brady, he always surprises us, but traditionally, when he gets pressure up the middle, he gets pushed back in the middle.
I can't imagine them designing any bootleg.
Exactly.
Get him out there on the edge. Get him running.
The game plan here should be take him out of the fucking game. Just put triple team him, whatever.
I don't give a fuck.
That's those 2 tight end sets. Watch those 2 tight end sets on his side, and they'll just have a double team on Donald.
which I could see them doing. That would be a smart
Mhm.
move, honestly.
Yep.
The thing is, a
Put that
lot of
other tight
times
end
on
in.
Donald, that shit doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got some big boys, and you have Gronk and Jensen blocking them. Have fun with that.
Just you guys want to keep Tristan Wirfs far away from him because he will fucking
opposite
eat
side.
him.
Opposite
He will
side.
fucking
Keep him
eat
on the
that
right.
boy.
Yep. Whatever side. If Darnold likes, oh, I'm gonna line up over. Wirfs used to be like, yo, you go over there.
They're doing the old tackle flip.
Yeah. Coach said
We
no.
did that in high school, Jay.
What, the tackle flip?
And it was so blatantly obvious because we would put this 6'5", 315-pound beast on whatever side we were running the ball to.
It's true.
We did legitimate tackle flips in our offensive schemes in high school, and wondered why we couldn't gain any yards.
Hey, shocker, we weren't very good.
No, we fucking super weren't.
But as far
cut that off there. Continue.
no, as far as prediction though, I mean, I think it comes down to two things really. What I just said, if you can protect Brady up the middle, and what does Goff show you? Which Goff are we getting here?
It's true.
You know, because sometimes he looks like a top 5 quarterback. Sometimes he looks like, Joe Flacco back there. I don't. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
he's dumb as fuck.
He can throw picks against this defense. Can't pick him off.
Yeah, so I think those are the two keys. I think my prediction, I'm still gonna go Bucks. Low scoring, probably like 20-17.
Also, key thing here for the Bucks with these primetime games now for this one, they changed their practice schedule around, so we'll see if that.
They're practicing on game day.
Yeah, no, they're at game time. Like so, like all of their practices are like 8:00 at night. So they're like getting their body ready for pumping up for that time.
This is in Tampa, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
In Tampa.
Good to know. There's so many compelling games this week. This is really. I was gonna pick this game, and then I was gonna pick whatever the Rams game was, and then I realized they were playing the Bucks, so I couldn't. Some stakes for me. Division game, of course. The Rams. This is so compelling to me because both these teams have been kind of odd in certain ways. For me, just looking through the 3 losses that the Rams have are to the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Niners, which is odd. And honestly, up to this point, their schedule's been kind of cupcakey, except for those games. They played Washington, they played the Bears, they played the Cowboys, Eagles, Giants.
Wow, that is pretty cupcakey.
Yeah, but they got that signature win against the Seahawks last week. And one of the compelling things that I found is they're second in yards allowed per game. So this defense is actually really, really stout. Again, they have some cupcakes in there, but that's including, the Bills offense, that Seattle offense that we know is really good.
This is a battle of 2 top 5 defense.
That's what I'm saying. It's very compelling in that way, and it comes down to, again, what you said. What Jared Goff are you going to get? You're going to get the really talented stud, or the Jared Goff who his first season in the league didn't know how to read a playbook. All of his things in college were done on hand signals and little picture posters on the sideline. When I learned that, I was like, oh my God, he doesn't know how to read a playbook. I was like, this guy's fucking dumb. And then he learned, and he's actually been very good, and I respect him a lot for it. But in this game, I find it very interesting because this is the show me game for the Rams. This is, if you're gonna be a guy, this is a game you got to have. And with that, and with the defense that they have, I'm picking the Rams, and I'm picking my shot take is that they hold this offense to 14 points or less.
Okay.
That is
okay. You think they're going to hold the Bucks at 14 points?
Yeah, it's very contingent on Aaron Donald getting that pressure up the middle. I think their DBs can stack up against these wideouts here. Those tight ends are a little bit of a different story, but I think they can hold up. I think, again, this is the show me game for the Rams. As much as it pains me, to say this because I honestly, ideally, I want the Rams to lose this game. It makes things easier for me. But this is the show me game, and if they do, again, I have this feeling. This is why it's my shot take. If this defense is what we think it is, they're going to show up, and Tom Brady's going to have a bad time because he's going to French fry when he should pizza. And it's going to be really rough. And I think Aaron Donald eats this boy. And there's just something in me saying that. So I think it's a rough day for the Bucks. I think it's a close game though. I'll give it I'll say 20-14 Rams. I think it's a low scoring affair. And I think that Rams defense is going to show up. They need to in this game. If they lose, I'll be totally happy. I'll happily take 2 shots in front of everybody if I lose this because it helps us in the division. But I'm feeling spicy, and something about that feels right to me with just the way that things are lining up cosmically. And I think that Rams defense is really good. I'm actually afraid we still got to play them twice. So I'm a little afraid of them down the stretch here. They're like I said earlier, those games are the ones that determine if we make the playoffs or not. Those are the ones I'm going to be glued to.
Yeah. I mean, and I feel like, and to that point, I feel like the Rams defense is kind of flying under the radar a bit. Maybe it's just because there's not a lot of Rams fans left. I don't know, but they're good.
They're good. Yeah, they're a good team. Their offense, I think, is the most suspect thing about them. I think that accounts for the L that they had against the team I mentioned, the Niners, because that was a 24-16 L that they took.
Right.
And the Niners, that's the other X factor in this whole division race is what Niners are you going to get? Yep. It's such a compelling division. I love and hate that I'm in it. And I think right now the clear front runners, if you talk to anybody, are Arizona and Seattle in that division. But this is the prove yourself game for those Rams. If they come here, then you're like, oh fuck, no, this is a 3-team race, and it's gonna be fun down the stretch, boys. Yep. You're gonna have to do constant check-ins on me during those Rams games because I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I'm just glad we're done with Seattle. We split with Seattle. We washed our hands with it. The worst we can do is split with the Niners. It's these Ram games that I'm really, really worried about. But again, I'll take the Rams here. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a game that I'm gonna pay extra attention to because I think it's a really cool matchup.
Okay.
It's gonna be a really good Monday night. I think it's probably gonna be the best one in a while here.
Yeah, in a good bit for sure. They've had some stinkers on Thursday and Monday throughout the season. This is one of the good ones though. We talked a lot there about Bucks Rams. So Jay. Oh no, Cox, I almost forgot. You lost your shot take. The Bengals did not beat the Pittsburgh football Steelers.
Not by a long shot.
And you both took them, so I'm gonna mark that game as the game that put me ahead. Just because it's funnier.
I mean, we did both take them, so.
And I picked the Steelers, which was apparently a controversial choice on this panel.
I think we were both we were out hot taking each other or trying to.
So while he's doing those, Jay, lead us into the Jets versus the Chargers. Before we get started, big news in LA this week. Justin Herbert cut his hair.
Yeah.
Does it have a Samson-like effect where he loses all his strength?
Dude, he looks like a fucking 16-year-old kid.
Sure
it's
does.
Like bad. It's bad.
You know why? It's because he's a 20-year-old kid.
I know, but I saw somebody on Twitter. They were like, "Looks like the kid that you knew from high school that was 17 when he went to boot camp and cut all his hair off."
He had what, like the team strength coach or something do it. You had you just had like some dude with a pair of clippers in the clubhouse do it.
Personally, I thought he looked better with the flow, but
I do too. Sunshine.
Yeah, the flow was nice.
Each their own. Each their own.
Did you do your 2, Cox?
Second one's right here.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I was big sad. He's also single-handedly carrying me to the playoffs in one of my fantasy leagues.
So having a great year. He's gonna
gigantic.
He's gonna destroy the fucking Jets on Sunday. Let's be fucking honest.
Go for it.
Let's just segue in on this.
Yeah, go off, King.
He's averaging just under 300 yards passing a game. The Jets just lost Brian Poole for the year, our best corner.
He's also a free agent this year.
Yeah, he signed a 1-year deal. So, yeah, he's a free agent.
I like Brian Poole.
I love Brian Poole. I thought I was kind of pissed they didn't sign him to a multi-year deal, but, whatever. They'll be starting Bryce Hall.
The Bryce Hall?
Outside corner this week, who is the 5th round rookie. Well, he was the 5th. All right, so hear me out. He was the 5th round rookie out of Virginia. Before he fucked up his knee his senior year, he was projected to be like a low first, early second round pick. So the talent's there. It's just, it's still a rookie. It's still a rookie corner. Les Austin's still dealing with a neck thing. He might play, he might not.
He's good in bursts.
He is. Joe Flacco is starting again this week.
What is going on with Sam? Is it still his shoulder?
Dude, he fucked up his shoulder really bad. They should have just shut him down, but they're just refusing to do it.
When he got body slammed like 3 weeks, that was a hit that I don't know why there wasn't a flag or a fine on that. That was unbelievable.
Yeah,
It was so bad. But
is it his throwing shoulder?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh God. Damaged goods. Yeah. Draft Trevor Lawrence.
Well, he didn't like break or tear anything. It's just kind of like a sprained, I think like I'm not a doctor, UCL joint or some shit like that.
AC joint? That's the shoulder one.
Yeah, the AC joint. Yeah, you're right.
He's covered in boo-boos, eh? Let's take him to Weenie Hut
General.
Yeah.
Weenie Hut General?
I'm sorry. I just want that on the injury report. Out covered in boo-boos.
Yeah.
All of that being said,
put on the Weenie Hut reserve list.
You know what? I'm just gonna turn off my camera.
I'm sorry. Go.
I don't laugh at your team when they lose.
I was just talking about being covered in boo-boos. It's funny.
That's because our teams don't consistently.
Okay, I'm not even gonna go there with the Bucks fan.
I'm nice to everybody on this fucking panel.
You shut your mouth.
Didn't you guys lose consistently for like 20 years before?
Jay, let's move on. We were making such good time, and now we're not.
When was the last Super Bowl? Sorry.
Jay, I'm gonna need you to go.
Anyway, this is a game I could see the Jets winning. Straight up.
God.
This is a game that they win when they shouldn't win to make us not get Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. Is that your pick? Is that your shot take?
Well, no, that's my shot take. Flacco seems to have a good rapport with Perriman. Mims is coming on. Crowder's back and healthy, like healthy. I think it'll be closer than people think. I still think, like, my unbiased opinion, obviously the Chargers win this one, but I think the Jets keep it close. I think it's 27-21, 28-21, something like that. Chargers.
Cool. Ryan, you're shaking your head. I'll go to you next.
Just give me Justin Herbert. Just give me Justin Herbert. Defenses they're bad. They're bad. Herbert can throw. Something the Jets can't stop a lot of is the throwing. So just give me Herbert. 33-10 Chargers.
33-10.
They lost to the Bills by 8 with your boyfriend at quarterback.
Yeah, he was having a
Are you guys back together? I need to know about this Ross and Rachel, Ryan and Josh. Will they? Won't they?
Look, I mean, if he's up.
If he's up. I love that. I'm also picking the Chargers uncontroversially here. Fucking Herbert might go for 400.
Yeah.
He legitimately might, because he's put up 300 plus against some real defenses out there. Bucks being one of them.
Yeah, like they contended with the Bucks.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The other reason I am so high on fucking Justin Herbert is he has had duels with the best QBs in the league. Lost in overtime to Patrick Mahomes by a field goal. Lost to Tom Brady by a 1 touchdown. Lost to Drew Brees by 3 points in overtime. The guy is a dude. He's a Dudington sandwich,
Yeah.
and I want to order that Dudington sandwich. It's a thing I just made up, and I don't know how I'm rolling with it now. Also, a close L to Derek Carr, who's no slouch.
I've also been saying that for like 3 years since he was in college, and I was kind of pumped when he didn't come out last year because I did not want the Giants to take him.
Right. No, see, I was trepidatious. We talked about this because there was I don't know if there is anymore with Herbert coming out, but there was a curse on Oregon QBs coming out into the NFL.
He was a different guy though in college. Like you could tell he wasn't a Mariota. He wasn't like
he wasn't in that gimmicky Chip Kelly business that was going on.
He's a good thrower.
We love Chip Kelly, Dover, New Hampshire, great. Still has a house there. We love you.
But yeah, I mean, in all honesty, like I know I get pissed because, like, it's hard watching your team go probably 0-16, maybe not, but
0-16.
But it's for the greater good. All that aside, Herbert probably throws for like 400 fucking yards.
It's hard when you're the worst team in the league and you have the worst record. I know I did it 2 years ago, baby boy. I've been in your shoes. Not quite in the same shoes because I think we won 2 games or 3, but
the Jets are one of 4 teams that give up over 400 yards a game in total offense to like other teams. They're bad, and the Herbert's gonna feast. He's gonna feast.
Keenan
Allen's gonna go have a field day with this.
I'm gonna say like
Ryan, you don't have to fucking rub it in, man. Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna say Herbert. I'm gonna say it's kind of controversial, but not. I think this is a Herbert like 404 kind of game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I wouldn't rub it in, Jay, if you didn't sit there and say I could. No.
But I didn't hear you. Sorry.
You said that there's the chance the Jets win this game. That's why I'm rubbing it in.
The Chargers D is a little sus though. I'll say that. So like this game, I'm gonna make it like a 35-21 Chargers game. And that's where I'm at with that. Any other thoughts on our individuals before we start going into the rapid fire?
Let's bring on the rapid fire.
Let's do it. Make sure you're on week 11 this week. I sometimes fuck that up.
So I'm not doing my shot take this week.
Oh no, do your shot take. Why am I the one who has to remember this shit?
Oh, so this week I have
Bully Boy is good.
It's not bad.
We like Bully Boy. I did Whistle Pig, by the way, not a sponsor yet, but if you boys in Vermont with your delicious, wonderful, highly rated whiskey want to give a boy a sponsor, I'd take that. And what did you do, Cox?
Just Jose.
Jose. Oh.
You're a fucking animal.
I suppose.
He loves tequila.
I do.
It's been
I do. I'll probably buy better stuff for next time.
I'm a whiskey boy. This first game, we'll go to Ryan first so Jay can take his shots. But the first game we have on the docket is Steelers-Jags. Who do you got?
Steelers, hot take. 33-21.
Steelers. 33-21. That's fair. I'll go next just in the interest of giving Jay some time to swish.
And flick.
I think this is one for Saxonville to lose. I do hope Yannick Ngakoue gets into the Pro Bowl, though, because they're voting hard for him so they get a better draft pick from the Ravens.
That'd be fun.
But Steelers win this game. Mike Tomlin might just win Coach of the Year.
He is. He should.
He should, yeah.
He should have won last year. I can't believe he didn't.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I said that all offseason. I was like, why did he not win?
He's incredible as a coach, and I think he's now in that conversation of, like, all-timers.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, he's a Hall of Famer. Easy.
He's so good.
He's good.
And he'll coach these nerds to a pretty. I think it's in Jacksonville. Don't think it matters.
I think he's got like another 20 still too.
He came in young. He's got a long time, and that long lineage of great Steelers coaches. They've had like 5 all time.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I was gonna say they don't turn over.
They don't turn over coaches because they find guys and they're just dudes. I was a huge Bill Cowher guy, even though he fucking beat us in that Super Bowl.
I think the Steelers are one of the better run organizations.
It's
Yeah.
good ownership. What it really comes
Oh, yeah.
down to. Good
Yeah,
ownership.
no, I have a lot of respect for the Steelers. I really do. Even though they beat us in that Super Bowl, I don't like them, and I don't have to like them, but I respect the hell out of that organization. They win this game. Probably not close. 31-10. Jay.
I was literally just gonna say the same exact score. 31-10 Steelers.
All right, lovely stuff. Battle of the Big Cats. We got the Detroit Lions versus the Carolina Panthers. Jay.
Panthers. No. I'm gonna go Lions actually. Stafford is
Ooh.
healthy.
Supaishi.
He looked pretty damn good against Washington last week.
It's Washington, but yeah.
I know, but like they have that great front seven.
We do have a really good front seven.
The Panthers are tenacious. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, no, I got the Lions here. I'm gonna make it a close one though, like 28-24.
Gotcha. Cox, what do you got?
I also am going to take. Bridgewater might not play, so Bridgewater might not play. So then you're relying on. I forget who it is, but he played in the XFL.
PJ Walker.
That's it, PJ Walker. Thank you.
That'll be fun to watch though.
Yeah, so I think it'll be fun. I think Mike Davis can kind of like get back, to being more of a bell cow, with some decent efficiency. I mean, he's been having some really tough defenses to face, but give me the Lions 27-20.
Yeah, if I want to preserve my lead here, I just pick the Lions. But I'm not going to do that. Matt Nagy. Not Matt Nagy. Matt Rule.
Nope.
Matt Rule. I was like,
One
what?
of the Matts.
Where are you going here? I need to know.
He's a hell
The
of a
Chicago
coach.
Bears.
He's a hell of a coach. Yeah, just go on some non sequitur about the Bears.
The Bears come marching in, win this game.
Hot take, the Bears for this
The
game.
Bears come in with a steel chair. Matt Rule is a good fucking coach.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
he is. Yeah.
I think, and PJ Walker, yeah, XFL, call it what you will. He's a dude. I think he's a dude. If he plays, you don't need to do a ton to get Mike Davis in some space. Those wideouts, again, they run some pretty tricksy stuff in terms of jet sweeps and rushing the ball. I don't have a ton of faith in that Detroit defense as well.
You shouldn't.
I'm going to pick the Panthers here. I'm going to go 28-24.
Okay.
We'll go Panthers.
I would love me a fucking PJ Walker win. That'd be hilarious.
Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be cool.
But
I like
was, after hearing you both take the Lions, I almost picked the Lions to preserve the lead, but I'm not going to do it.
I like the risk.
I'm a fighting champion.
I'm like low key a Lions fan. I'm not gonna lie.
You clearly are. You picked them a lot. It's
I
very
like-
undoing, I think.
I like the Lions, man. I don't know.
They're not even real lions, dude. They're fucking blue. Patriots versus Texans. We haven't talked about this game. I thought we did because we normally do. Let's go with the biggest Patriots fan here, Cox first. What do you got him 83-4 or something?
Cam has 7 touchdowns.
I do have them winning. I'm going to take the Patriots 23-17. Defense is coming back into better form, and they might get Gilmore. So Gilmore might play. So
they don't need him. They got J.C. Jackson.
I know.
Who got left off the Pro Bowl ballot somehow.
I think they revised it. I think.
It's probably 'cause he's not that good.
He's leading the league in
Leading
interceptions.
What are you talking about? He's not good.
Tremaine Johnson led the league in interceptions like 2 years ago on the Jets.
Yeah, okay, but like he's having
terrible.
a good. But he's still having a good. But he's having a good year right now.
And it's a contract year for
right
him.
now. Yeah.
All right,
So-
I get you. Sorry.
so-
I won't fuck the Patriots.
They're better than you're giving them credit for.
I
They're
know,
gonna
I'm just-
win this game.
I have a
They're
bias.
gonna win.
What's the score?
I know. 23-17. It's still
Gotcha.
low scoring.
Jay.
Like I don't think Cam has a throwing touch. I think Jacoby Myers might.
Yeah.
Well,
I can see that.
it's not a hot take to say Cam doesn't have a throwing touchdown. He's almost tied with me, and I don't play in the NFL.
It's true. It's fair.
Jay.
I'm gonna take the Texans here. Deshaun Watson usually plays pretty well against the Pats, and this is a Pats team that's not as good as the Pats teams he's faced in the past. 27-21 Texans.
I'm gonna go. Ooh, I'm gonna go.
You're just trying to win now. This isn't what you actually think.
No. I'm going with the Texans. I'm gonna go 31. I was trying to think of the score.
I'm just messing with you, man.
31. Fuck it. 31-17.
All right, let's roll. Let's go.
I don't think they have anything for those Texans wideouts. I don't think that, especially if Gilmore doesn't play, J.C. Jackson, the reason he has the most picks is because people throw to him because they doubt him. And he's been cooked a lot this year as well. I don't think, I mean, obviously you're going to lead the league in picks if you have vastly more attempts than most other people. It becomes a respect game at that point. But even if you put J.C. Jackson, if Gilmore doesn't play, who covers Will Fuller? Like they got some things going on there. I think Deshaun's good. I think he's mobile enough against that defense to not do anything. They're not as one-dimensional as the Ravens, which is why I think it gives them an edge in this game. Anytime they've had these kind of like Deshaun Watson-esque QBs come in with competent receivers. That's not a knock on Hollywood Brown over in Baltimore or whatever. It was a fucking downpour or whatever. Game plan changes, but something about that and the fact that it's the Romeo Crennel revenge game. For all those years he was in New England, won a couple Super Bowls with them. He's going to want this one. 31-17, Houston Football Texans. Everybody's the city football team name to me now. I already spoke about Titans Ravens, so let's move on to the Eagles versus the Browns. Cox.
Give me the Browns. Carson Wentz has been bad. Browns beat who they should. 31-20 Browns.
Yep. Yeah, Z.
Yeah, Browns. I think it'll maybe be a little closer because the Eagles tend to come back and then fail on that. 31-24 Browns.
Yeah, the Eagles tend to claw back into weird games. That's a good score, Jay. I'm going to steal it. 31-24. Not a shot take because I already used my shot take on the Rams, but I think both RBs have 100 total yards, Chubb and Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
In that
Oh,
game.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I can see that.
Another super interesting game to me. Falcons and Saints. Yaz, go first.
It depends on Hill, really. The Falcons show up sometimes, and then sometimes they don't. Fuck it. I'm going to go with the Falcons here. 28-20.
Ooh, Coxie.
Well, I'm going to tell you you're wrong because the Saints are at home, so they're not going to let the Falcons win in their dojo. Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston will put on a fun little show, and they'll win a nice close one, 30-27.
I also think it's 30-27, but I'm going to go with the Falcons. I don't trust this team without Breeze.
This is how I come to see. It's these kind of decisions right here.
Yeah, it's definitely not the Antonio Brown getting 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, I get it. That's how I'm talking more just about like game pick.
I'm sad that fucking Jay took them because this was one I had locked in. I was always going to pick the Falcons here.
Dude, I've loved Matt Ryan since he was at BC.
I just think they're also weirdly gelling more every week.
It's like here's the thing. Without Breeze, the Falcons are the better team. That's just a fact.
See, I think the Falcons will win the home game. Breeze is probably going to be out. So
probably. Yeah.
So I think he's already like it's going to be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think in 3 weeks they play the Falcons again, but in Atlanta. I think that's what,
interesting.
I think they split this season.
Interesting. Yeah, they probably do split it. I think that's fair. But I already said I was going to take the Falcons, so I'll do it.
We'll see what happens.
31-28 Falcons. Next we have the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Washington football team. Cox.
So I want you each to pick. I'm going to pick Washington, but I want you to give me my actor. There's one player that I think is the biggest factor in this game, and I want you both to.
T. Higgins.
No, I said I was picking Washington.
Oh.
Okay, you're wrong. Good
Well,
day.
Scary Terry.
No, also wrong.
Logan
It's
Thomas.
Also wrong.
It's JD McKissick.
Okay.
All right.
JD McKissick, as a pass catching back, has been phenomenal these last two games. I'm pretty sure in the last two games he has over 15 receptions, split between the two. Like he's going to be a huge X factor for them. They're going to be able to move the ball. So, and Washington's front seven can get to Burrow. They can.
Sure can.
So I think that's going to lend. I mean, don't get me wrong. Burrow's still going to do those quick throws to Boyd and Higgins. That's still going to happen. So they're still going to get some points. But I think Washington and Alex Smith can pull out the win this week. I'm going to keep picking Alex Smith until 30-24, Washington.
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm gonna go next because I want to.
Everything that guy just said.
This man's over here. This man's over here. Let me say before I make my pick. This man's over here just picked Washington against the Bengals. The week after he picked the Bengals over the Steelers.
But I like Alex Smith more.
It does than fucking Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Does not
Have you
make
watched
sense.
football
Yeah.
the last decade?
Yeah. I like Alex Smith better.
Give me the goddamn Cincinnati Bengals here.
Better story.
It's a great story. He might, Gio, I think he'll do a lot of work out of the backfield catching. He might be stuffed on the ground. This front seven, like we said, is no joke. We talk about it oddly a lot on this podcast for people who don't actually are not Washington fans. Ryan Kerrigan is one of the best players right now defensively in the league.
Underrated. Fuck.
He's the most underrated probably defensive player in the
Oh my
league.
god. Yeah.
I thought Seattle would have tried to make a push for him.
Yeah, love him. But Joe Burrow gets this win here because the NFC East is inept, and Burrow needs this more than Washington does. I'm glad that Alex Smith hasn't had his leg explode. I'm very happy for him. Just the fact that he played a game this year, he's probably a lock for comeback player of the year. But they don't win this game. The end. 21-17.
Fuck, this is a toss-up, man. In my eyes, I think either team can easily win this game. I still think I'd go Bengals, though. I still think I will always go with the better quarterback, and I love Alex Smith, but his best years are far behind him.
I'm either gaining a lot this week or
you're losing all the ground you made up.
I haven't locked it in yet, so let's fill that. No, I'm going Bengals. Bengals 21-17.
Lovely. Dolphins versus Broncos. Jay.
Broncos. Drew Luck has a bounce back game. Noah Fant goes off. Jerry Jeudy goes off. And they beat the very overrated Dolphins team. 24-21.
Interesting. Cox?
What about the Dolphins is overrated?
What?
What about the Dolphins is overrated?
Crisis.
I don't understand.
I think I just gave Coxie an aneurysm.
The Dolphins are good. Dolphins are a good football team, and they're certainly better than the Broncos.
All right, then just give your pick then. Jesus.
The Dolphins 30-14. Like the
30-14.
The defense. Miami's defense is way too good. Drew Lock sucks. Drew Lock might even play.
But he did that cool thing where he rapped on the sideline. Did you see that?
Yeah. Well, I've seen the Dolphins win 5 straight games. They win 6. So there we go.
That's why it's a subjective opinion there, Cox.
Oh, fuck, he got you there. You didn't think of that one, did you?
Jeez.
Oh, God. Give me the Dolphins.
Dolphins?
I'm going to take the Dolphins out of respect for them beating us, mostly.
Smart. They play smart, simple football. That's all
They
it
sure
takes.
do. I love Brian Flores as a head coach. I think he's a big up-and-comer in this league.
Yeah, all bullshit aside, Brian Flores is fucking. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't think the Dolphins, or not the Dolphins. I don't think the Broncos have it. They'll surprise some people sometimes. They do. Drew Lock has flashes. They're literally playing in Miami with that no-name defense 2.0. They're fucking killing it, and I think they've eaten better quarterbacks than this, and they'll probably today. So give me.
We'll see.
Go ahead.
Give me 30-10 Dolphins.
Yeah. So I just want to make real quick. I'm pretty sure I made the Dolphins my riser for the rest of the season. I'm going to double down on that. I'm going to say that the last game of the year, Dolphins at Bills. I think the Dolphins win. It's for the division, and I think the Dolphins.
You think the Dolphins win the division? Ooh.
In Buffalo.
You gotta put a shot ski on it?
No, if the Dolphins win the division, you're taking 6 shots.
Well, he's betting on it.
I'm betting on them.
So,
no. Then I get to give them.
Yeah, give them out.
And they're all going to you.
But it's a shot take.
So if they lose,
I take one.
That's what I'm saying. If
all right.
If they lose, I'll take one. If they don't get the,
I misinterpreted the rules.
All right, Bill. Lovely stuff. We good here?
Next game.
We have the Cowboys versus the Vikings, Ryan. Ryan, you missed me? Did you not hear that?
Sorry. No, I missed that cue. My bad.
No, Cowboys versus Vikings.
Vikings 30-19.
Gotcha. Jay?
Yeah, Vikings like 34-17, I guess.
You gotta feed the cook.
You do.
Yeah.
Dalvin's probably gonna have at least 2 scores, I think.
Probably.
You keep picking good scores, 34-17 as well for the Vikings. Next up we got Packers Colts. Jay.
I think this is gonna be a good game, honestly. I really do. I think the Packers are probably gonna win it, but I could see the Colts clawing their way back just because their defense is so fucking good. And when Rodgers gets shook, he gets shook. But I'm going to go Packers 35-28.
Fair enough. Cox?
See, the Colts defense is really, really good.
Uh-huh.
And the Packers are kind of a one-trick pony when it comes. It's Devontae Adams, and that's really it. I think the Colts can shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts have a really good defense. I'm going to pick the Colts 27-20. And I'll give you my shot take for this. The Colts defense holds Devontae Adams to under 75 yards receiving, and he has no touchdowns.
Ooh, that's spicy.
That's a twofer. So if both of those have to happen in order for you not to take 2 shots.
Correct.
Right. That's what I did with the Gus Edwards one, and you guys still thought it was soft for some reason last week. That was bullshit. I had the shottiest of shot takes, and y'all were shitty to me. This is a hell of a game.
It's a good one.
Give me the Packers.
Okay.
Because they do have a good defense. I think it's mostly a good pass defense, too. If I could be... They are number 1 in yards allowed per game. Just so everybody knows.
The Colts or the Packers?
The Colts. They're the number 1 defense in yards allowed per game.
Mm-hmm.
290 is their yards per game that they allow.
That's pretty damn good.
It's really
the second best passing defense too.
Second best passing D. But that's where
the fourth best rushing team.
Yeah.
It's a really good
They're
defense.
A really good defense.
That's very good.
But I think the Packers D isn't really vaunted.
No, it's middle of the pack at best.
But I think I'm gonna take the Packers, and I think they may do some good stuff shutting down Devontae Adams. I think, not that it's not obvious, but I think the air quotes X factor here is Aaron Jones. I think if he can get cooking, if he can get running, if they can get on the ball, I think he makes a difference here. I think it's a close game. Give me fuck it. Give me 24-21.
Okay.
Packers. We will do. Last game, but not the least game by any stretch of the imagination. Chiefs versus Raiders. Cox.
So I think the Chiefs are going to blow. And I think
Okay.
for a couple reasons. One, the Chiefs are pissed off. And they might not admit it, but I mean the Raiders being the only loss, that pisses them off. The whole victory lap thing that the Raiders did, that pisses Andy Reid off especially. And then the Raiders, most of their defense right now is on the COVID reserve list.
Yeah.
So they might, even if they have them, they haven't practiced. So have fun with that. You're going to get blown out, Raiders, 38-17.
Next. Jay?
Someone else go.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think they're because they got kind of embarrassed by the Raiders last time around, and I think they're fucking pissed. I think they're really fucking mad, and like you said, half their D is on the COVID list right now. I don't even think, like you said, I don't think this one's even remotely close. I think they could put a 40 burger up on the board. I think it'd be like 41 to
I could see it.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, I struggle with this one. Mostly because all John Gruden knows is offense. He doesn't know a lick of defense.
True.
And that game that they beat the Chiefs, their only loss that the Chiefs have, the Raiders put up a 40 burger. And it's those divisional matchups where you have extra tape that the weird things happen. But that's what happened early in the year, I feel like. I don't think you beat Andy Reid twice. As much as I want to pick the Raiders here, I don't think you beat Andy Reid twice. I don't think it's a blowout. I think it's much more interesting than you guys do. I think
Andy Reid's also coming off the bye.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 2 weeks with Andy Reid. Give me it.
It's over.
I don't think it's as big of a gap as you guys do. Give me I'm going to say I'm going to actually take the same score as last game, but flipped. Give me 40-32, but this time in favor of the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens. I don't think if the Raiders sweep that series, they're in the driver's seat for that division. If because Casey's really good, it's highly unlikely they don't drop at least one of these games down the stretch. They have to. If they don't, then just hand them the Lombardi.
I'd say they're in the driver's seat for, Are you saying the Raiders? Yeah, they're in the driver's seat for a wild card. They're not going to win the division.
Well, if what I'm saying, if they sweep them here, I mean, they're not going to actually be record-wise in the driver's seat. But if it comes to a tie, they win the tiebreaker.
Right.
If the Chiefs drop a couple games, it gets real interesting. Was the point I was making?
If the Raiders win, they're 7-3,
because I think the Chiefs drop at least one down the stretch. Because I don't think they're going to go 15-1. I just don't. If there was a team that was going to do it, it'd probably be this team, but I don't. They
have
a head scratcher. It might be this one. I don't think it will be this one.
It's either this one or the game against the Bucs.
Yeah.
That they drop.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe the Saints if Drew Brees is back.
Yeah, maybe the Saints. I could also see weirdly, I don't know why, something about that Falcons game.
True. Or even the Chargers game.
Yeah, I could catch them snoozing.
Both weird teams that could absolutely steal it.
I could see them losing to the Chargers the last game of the year.
I honestly, that's what I'm saying is if the Raiders win this game and they win out, it gets real interesting because the Raiders have the tiebreak. And if the Chiefs drop 2 games or more down that stretch, it's still very much in play for them. They have a lot to play for here. I still, like I said though, I don't think Andy Reid loses twice to the Raiders in this situation. And that's why I'm taking them. And we already talked about the Bucks and Rams, so we are done with the pickaroonies. My shot take, just as a recap: Rams hold the Bucks to 14 points or less. Cox, what was yours?
That Devontae Adams has less than 75 yards receiving and has
no touchdowns, exactly. And Jay, I don't think has revealed his. So now that we're in the shot take section, what do you got?
I'm still picking, man. I thought I had one, but I maybe I didn't.
I think you said before we started that you had one.
Yeah.
We're now live, pal.
Figure it out. I forget what it was too.
Yeah, he said it out loud, and I don't remember.
Yeah, he did. Either. He said it in pre-show, but I totally forget what it was.
Oh, Andy Dalton has over 300 yards passing. That's what
it was. Right. Yeah, you think Andy Dalton cooks?
Yeah, I don't know. That's yeah. 300
no,
yards.
That'd be cooking.
That would be cooking. I'll give you that as your shot take. So, for those who don't know the rules, our shot take is we make a hot take, and if we lose on that hot take, we take 2 shots for the people on the podcast. So, if you're looking for us to get drunk, root against us on those. You'll have a lovely time.
Haven't hit one yet.
I've hit one of 2. I think we've done so far.
Yeah.
I've hit 0.
I'm the only one who's hit one, and let's go. So the big debate question I have is something that we haven't talked about yet, but I find very, very compelling every year as a defensive guy. We've talked about MVPs. We talked about Rookie of the Year. I want to talk about who you guys think is the Defensive Player of the Year. I think we all have the same handful of guys in mind. I think I normally lead with Cox on this, so I'm going to actually pass it to Jay first. Who do you think?
I got Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
He's got 9. I mean, that's not really a hot take. He's got 9.5 sacks. Still 6 games to go. Usually, and this has been aside from last year, usually the guy with the most sack, like pass rushers, have a premium in the voting for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Myles Garrett.
Gotcha. Coxie.
So I think it really depends. So if Seattle can kind of tighten it up on defense, then I think Bobby Wagner could win it.
Ooh.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that as well. Yeah.
That's spicy because he wasn't in my top 4 that I have.
Like a Kuechly-esque Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, like dude just eats tackles. Like,
I love me some Bobby
Wagner. He's a tackle machine. Like you ain't running it past him. Like you're just not. Like you put him out there, and you're just like, I don't have to worry about that part of the field.
Nope.
At all.
Big facts. Facts.
So if their defense can kind of tighten it up like it did against Arizona, over these next few games and finishing out the year, then yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
Love that. I think he's good. For me, I'm the defensive guy, so I have 4 names that I think are legitimate contenders. I have a dark horse guy, and it wasn't Bobby Wagner, but the guys I were thinking were Myles Garrett. Mm-hmm. Again, leads the league in sacks. TJ Watt, I think, is getting a lot of buzz, a lot of support. Aaron Donald, because he's fucking Aaron Donald, and Budda Baker are the 4. If you look on the pundit sites, that's really the 4-horse race.
Yeah.
And each one has cost benefit analyses right now. Myles Garrett is leading the league in sacks, but TJ Watt's only a half a sack behind. Myles Garrett has 4 forced fumbles. Aaron Donald only has 3. Garrett has 2 fumble recoveries. TJ Watt is not represented in these categories. He has no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries, but he does have an interception. Where TJ Watt comes back into this is he has twice as many QB hits as Myles Garrett. He creates pressure, and he has double the tackles for loss. So that's a big factor.
Unfortunately, I feel like the voting doesn't really take quarterback pressure /hits into the consideration. and they should, but traditionally they don't though.
Yeah, but it's also like an eye test thing, right? It's the guy that
Yeah.
makes the visuals. It's the guy.
Exactly.
And TJ Watt does that a lot. You see him in the big moments. You see
He
Aaron
does.
Donald, Myles Garrett, and that's why one of the only reasons as a defensive back, Budda Baker's in there. He's got that highlight pick that should have been 6.
I wish it was.
He's also he's like 3rd in the league in solo tackles as a safety.
Mhm.
The man's insane. He's really crushing it in that aspect. Yeah, he has 63 solo tackles as a safety this season, 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. As a DB, he's got a pick, 4 QB hits as a safety. He really is that gadget guy, does everything for us. He's got a forced fumble, 4 passes deflected. So out of the DBs, I think he comes out as a easy contender, and the guys that I said. But the dark horse that I want to bring up is Roquan Smith from Chicago.
Yeah.
This guy,
Yep.
he's leading the league in solo tackles. He's leading the league in combined tackles.
It's a 3-way tie, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3-way tie.
5 passes defended, a forced fumble. He's only got 2 sacks, but 15 tackles for loss. The guy's a sneaky animal, and he's having a hell of a year. And I just wanted to put his name out there. I think right now, if I have a vote, it's probably Myles Garrett. You throw my bias into place, and you want to make it a sexy skill player, you make it Budda Baker. But I think Roquan Smith, if he starts maybe racking up a couple more sacks, the guy can do it all. He's been sneaky good there. People think in Chicago it's the Khalil Mack show, but Roquan Smith's showing up.
Yeah, no, Roquan is he's probably one of the better linebackers in the NFL, if not. He's top 3. He's
up there in the ILBs with I love Bobby Wagner. Give me Eric Kendricks is also a guy who flies under the radar that I really love. Those ILBs, since Kuechly's dropped off, it's kind of been tough to come by.
Even Zach Cunningham too.
Zach Cunningham, yeah. I like me
Like
some
Martinez.
I've always been a weird Tremaine Edmonds guy.
Yep.
Is it just like this this bias that we have now that just because Kuechly was so fucking good that we have to make an inside linebacker like in the conversation now? Do you think that's like kind of the case? Because Kuechly, he was a generational talent at linebacker.
He was.
You know?
I think it is and it isn't, because I think the person who benefits the most from Kuechly retiring is Bobby Wagner, because he's been doing similar shit.
Oh no, you're right. Bobby Wagner's the best linebacker in the NFL.
I think he just helped highlight the position more.
It's
That's
still
fair.
a low value position when you talk about sexiness. But as a guy, for me, I'm a DB slut. I'm a defensive nerd. It's my whole fucking thing. So like, I wanted to give him a little love. There's a lot of other great dudes out there. Jordan Poyer's having a fucking year at safety as well. There's a lot of great dudes out there that I don't think get the sexiness that they deserve, but highlights, I think it's a 4-guy race. I think it's Garrett, TJ Watt, Aaron Donald, Budda Baker. But I think Roquan Smith deserves a shout. I think Bobby Wagner and Eric Kendricks are both really good. Roquan Smith is also up there for me in terms of guys. So if you're going to talk about like S tier, like guys who should be in that DPOY conversation, I think it's those guys. You make me pick today, I'm probably picking Myles Garrett despite his helmet debacle from last year.
I mean, he's still a good player, man.
Still a great
all of
player.
that shit aside, he's the best pass rusher in the NFL. So
I wanted to give all those guys a due. So let's go around real quick. Say if you had a vote, where's your vote going, and then we'll wrap this boy up. Jay,
Garrett, it's Garrett.
Coxie.
Bobby Wagner.
I think if I had a vote right now, it would go to Myles Garrett. If it's one of those tiered voting systems, though, I'd probably go Garrett, Budda Baker, TJ Watt, Aaron Donald, Roquan Smith, Bobby Wagner, etc., etc. That's probably mine, but I love talking about defense. I'm glad we actually finally did this as a big question. Oh boy, what a podcast this week, fellas. You got any parting words to say to the people before we head out? Lovely stuff. As always,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. We're going to come back with a very spicy Thanksgiving recap next week. It's going to be very, very good. Hope you all have a wonderful time with your family, friends, whoever you decide to spend the holiday with. And if your team's playing, whether it's on Thanksgiving, this Sunday, next Sunday, whenever, we hope they do well and they hope they win. unless they're playing one of our teams. Then they can lose. But we hope you have a wonderful time. Happy holidays. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll catch you later. Say bye, guys.
Bye.